Kia ora, or hello. My name's Lauren and I am from the University of Otago here in New Zealand. I'm delighted to be able to present an information session for you today to find out a little bit more about studying abroad here at the University of Otago in New Zealand. So sit back, relax, and hopefully you find this session informative. Before I share the exciting information and details about the University of Otago, I did just want to give a bit of an update with regards to COVID-19. You may be aware that New Zealand here, our borders are currently closed. So that does mean study abroad for semester 1, 2021, which is spring in the US, is highly unlikely. Basically, students just will not be able to get here. So the information session today is certainly for students who are looking for future study abroad opportunities here at Otago. So hopefully this is just a bit of a context for you. One of the other things I'd like to highlight with regards to the COVID-19 scenario is just how fortunate New Zealand has been. We're very lucky here at Otago. We have some key academic staff who've played a real pivotal role in advising the New Zealand government. So we're fortunate to have experts right on our doorstep. All right. So I'd like to start off the session today with giving you a bit of an overview of New Zealand, Dunedin, which is the city that the University of Otago is located, in the South Island of New Zealand. There are a couple of New Zealand facts here, some you may be familiar with. New Zealand is home to around 5 million people. So we're not a large country, but we do have a large number of sheep. So as you'll see there, we have more than 27 million sheep, which is around 5.6 sheep for every New Zealander. So as you can imagine, we have a lot of clean green space. It's a beautiful country. We do speak 3 official languages, or have 3 official languages. So English, Te Reo Māori, so my greeting at the beginning, kia ora, is our local Indigenous language, and we also have New Zealand Sign Language. You may know New Zealand for extreme sports such as the bungee jump, or you may be a fan of the Lord of the Rings, so there's certainly a number of beautiful tours and things you can do here in New Zealand. So where is Dunedin? Well, Dunedin is in the southeast coast of the South Island of New Zealand. So this picture here is a beautiful overview of the city, the Otago Harbour, and then some of our beautiful beaches. In terms of getting here, typically when students fly from the US or anywhere else around the world, they would normally come into either Auckland, which is the top of the North Island, or into Christchurch, which is in the middle of the South Island. As you can see by this map, New Zealand is not a large country, so you can fly directly from Auckland down to Dunedin in less than 2 hours. The same for Christchurch. The flight directly from Christchurch to Dunedin is around 55 minutes. Or if you were driving, that's about 4.5 hours. So you can see everything is relatively close by, and New Zealand is a very easy country to get around. If you have a little bit more of a look on the map on the left of the South Island, Dunedin you can see there in a large print. And then you have some of the amazing destinations like Queenstown, Wanaka, Mount Cook, or Milford Sound. So these are some of the most picturesque places you could find, and that's about 3.5 hours drive from Dunedin. So again, everything is very accessible. So let me tell you a little bit more about the city of Dunedin. We're very much a student city. The population here is around 130,000 people, but 25,000 of these are students. The university itself has around 21,000 students, and we also have the Otago Polytechnic and a number of schools. So as you'll see, we do have the youngest population in New Zealand, and it is really a true educational city. Even though we're not a big city, there is a lot to do, and we are also recognised as the first UNESCO creative city when we were awarded the City of Literature status in 2014. To give you a bit of an idea of what the city looks like, this image is a great overview for you also. You'll see on the far right the university campus. So we're located in North Dunedin. The centre city is about 10 minutes walk. So Dunedin's what we call a 10-minute city. You can be on campus and walk into the centre city for shops, cafes, restaurants, and more. And then if you head to the left of the image, you can see St. Clair Beach. And again, that's probably about a 10 to 12-minute bus ride from the university. Everything is incredibly accessible. We've got some amazing botanic gardens. We've got some incredible bike tracks. Everything is in really close proximity. So it's a really easy city to navigate. You don't need a car, you can walk, bus, bike. We even have Lime scooters here in Dunedin. I do just want to show you a video now to give you a bit more of an idea of the scenery and the environment that you are going to be potentially immersed in if you choose to study abroad here at Otago. So as you can see, there's some incredible architecture and some amazing beaches right on your doorstep. One of the other big attractions not only is the beauty of Dunedin, but it's the rest of the South Island. We're very fortunate here in Dunedin in that it's very much the gateway to the South Island. So as I mentioned earlier, within 3 to 3.5 hours, you could be at a number of ski fields, you could be snowboarding, you could be at lakes, mountains, fiordlands, almost every kind of environment you can imagine you can access. If you're into skiing or hiking, there are plenty of options. Of course, the more extreme sports like skydiving or bungee jumping, whitewater rafting, all of that is incredibly accessible. And we also have 3 of New Zealand's world-famed great walks. So it's a great place to get out and about and explore if you're keen to venture out. These are just a couple of images to give you an idea. The top left is actually a picture of the saltwater pool here in Dunedin. So that's out at St. Clair Beach, about a 10-minute bus ride away. You can see the beautiful beach there, the lovely saltwater pool, and there's some amazing cafes and restaurants too. There's also some incredible lakes not far away. So we've Tekapo, we've got Mount Cook, and also the little yellow-eyed penguin. So we're very fortunate to have some amazing wildlife down in the Otago Peninsula. Of course, a few more images of the more extreme activities, such as the bungee over Queenstown. You've got Nugget Point, Milford Sound, which I think is probably one of the most beautiful places in New Zealand. And of course, a number of the ski fields there too. So let's talk a little bit more about the University of Otago. We've got this amazing environment, but obviously you're here to study too. So let's have a little look at the university. So why would you choose to study here at Otago? We are New Zealand's first and oldest university. So we actually celebrated our 150th anniversary last year. So there's a lot of history and tradition. We're a really highly ranked institution. We rank within the top 1% in the world of universities, and that's just the QS World Ranking measurement there. We do have 21,000 students on campus, and it is a truly residential campus environment. So we're like what we would call a destination university. Because we're the only truly residential campus in New Zealand And for a lot of Australasia, we have more than 85% of students come from all around New Zealand and all around the world to study here at Otago. The campus is located, as I said, 10 minutes from the city, so it's incredibly easy to get around and make the most of an amazing lifestyle. We've also been voted best for the overall student experience at a New Zealand university for the past 5 years. So I can tell you that it's a great place to come, but we've also been recognised for the amazing experience students have. A couple of figures here, some of this I've touched on. You'll see there in terms of our student population, we have 3,000 international students that come from more than 100 countries. We're an incredibly comprehensive university and we offer more than 190 undergraduate and postgraduate programs. So it's a great choice because most of the subjects or areas that you're looking to study, the University of Otago would offer. The other thing I wanted to highlight on this slide is the more than 150 clubs and societies that are available. That could be anything from our ski club or the hiking, which we call tramping club, various student associations, cooking, yoga, anything and everything. We have probably got a club or society there. Otago is also really highly ranked in a number of individual subject areas. For example, kinesiology or sport and exercise science has been ranked the 13th best in the world. We've got a number of other subject areas that are highly ranked, as you can see on the slides there, as well as a number within the top 50 to 100 with the QS World Rankings. We're also ranked in the top 184 universities in the world. One of the other rankings you may be interested to learn about is our campus. Our beautiful Dunedin campus has been ranked among the 15 most beautiful campuses in the world. This picture was taken not too long ago. We're just in the beginning of spring here, but you'll see on the far right the clock tower building, which is very much the iconic image here. And for a lot of students, it reminds them a little bit of Hogwarts for any Harry Potter fans out there. So what can you study here at Otago? As I mentioned, we are an incredibly comprehensive university. So we cover things like business. Our business school is EQUIS and AACSB accredited. We cover science, so all of the major STEM subjects. We're incredibly strong in health sciences. So we have the only dental school and one of 2 medical schools here in New Zealand. So for any students who are on the pre-med track, there's plenty of options available. And of course, we have our humanities and liberal arts or social sciences courses. The one thing that's a big attraction for students is the amount of fieldwork or hands-on experience that students get when they come to study here at Otago. The other big advantage is that generally, as long as you have the background to take the classes, which we call papers, students can get into any of these classes. So there are only a handful that would be capped at a certain number. Otherwise, if you meet the requirement, then you're pretty much guaranteed to be able to take that course, which is great if you need to fulfill any major requirements. There's also a number of papers or courses, as you may be familiar with, that cover a New Zealand flavour or theme, so that you get that kind of cultural aspect too. So these just are a couple of examples there, and they range across things like anthropology, English, geology, through to things like music, politics and sociology. Our Māori studies is an incredibly popular choice and gives you a great insight into the local culture and heritage here of our Indigenous population. So let's look a little bit more at life on campus, your accommodation and student support. University Flats is an amazing accommodation setup and something that we get incredible feedback from the students who have studied here and lived here. As I mentioned, we are a truly residential campus, so all of our students live on or around campus and everyone is in that real community environment. Generally, what we do is have guaranteed accommodation in university flats, which are university-owned or managed flats or houses. So these are basically little villas or bungalows, where typically you'd have maybe 4 to 6 people per flat. Everyone has their own bedroom, you get a double bed, it's fully furnished, you share a kitchen and a bathroom, and you're matched with like-minded people. So when you fill in your housing application, be as honest as possible. Tell us what you like, what you don't like, what interests you have, and we'll make sure to put you in a flat with people who you are likely to get on with. One of the other people that will be living in your flat is what we call a Kiwi host. This is one of our domestic New Zealand students. They have often been on an international exchange or study abroad experience. So they're incredibly approachable, very helpful, and it's a great way for you to get immersed in New Zealand culture and meet other Kiwis, which is what we like to call ourselves. So University Flats provides an incredible service and support. They run activities and events. They're an amazing support system for students that come to Otago. So that's the housing arrangement for study abroad. In terms of services and support, we offer a full range of service and support and really pride ourselves on the level of pastoral care that we provide to students. We have a designated international student support team here in the international office, but as I mentioned, we've got services and support right across campus. So the Kiwi hosts and residential assistants, another community support team involved with accommodation. We have a visa and insurance team here on campus. There are a number of other services and support, such as our student health centre. So students can go and see a doctor or a nurse or a counsellor and receive those services. We've got an incredible career development centre. So students can make the most of brushing up their CV, understanding what skills they would potentially need when returning home, what things they can include on their CV. And we also have an amazing social impact studio where we see a lot of students get involved with various volunteering activities. So there's plenty for you to see and do, and there's an incredible amount of support right across campus to ensure you make the most of your academic and extracurricular time here at Otago. Two of the areas of support I did really want to highlight. One was the Unipole Recreation Centre. Students have complete access to the Unipole Recreation Centre, which is our gym and fitness facility, and that's completely free of charge. So you can go in and use all of the equipment, you can hire equipment. So if you're heading off on a hike or you want to go camping and you need some gear, you can pick up that equipment for a really low cost. You can also organise day and weekend excursions. So they work with a number of approved providers who organise things like a weekend away skiing, where all of your equipment, your accommodation, your food and transport is taken care of at a really discounted rate. So it's a great way to facilitate you getting out and about here in Dunedin and also further afield in the South Island. And we also have our OUSA Recreation Centre. So this is home to a number of clubs and societies. As I mentioned, things like the ski team, sports teams, the hiking club or the tramping club, which is incredibly popular. But they also offer things like $3 lunches, which are delicious, and free breakfasts. So these are some great services and support that study abroad students in particular really like to utilise during their time here. We are an incredibly safe campus. New Zealand as a whole is a really safe country, but we pride ourselves on the level of pastoral care we provide. The University of Otago spends more money on pastoral care and support than any other New Zealand university. And we have a team right across campus and also the student area called Campus Watch. So they're like not a security team, they're more of a pastoral care team that patrol the student area 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to offer any assistance and advice. If for some reason you are studying in the library late at night and you're not quite sure about wandering back to your flat, you can call Campus Watch and they will walk back with you. They also have a safety patrol car, which is a completely free service. So for students who may be in town and they are unsure about getting home or feel unsafe, then certainly they can call and that car will be there to pick them up. So there are some really, really good services around not only campus, but the whole student area here in North Dunedin. We also have Senior Constable John Woodhouse, who is our campus cop. So he is a registered member of the New Zealand Police Force. He's an incredibly helpful and approachable colleague. So for any students that have issues around safety or legal issues, or even anything like lost property, John is available here on campus to help with any issues students have. So we certainly have a really full, wide range of support available for students. There's a lot of information to cover, but please, if you want to find out more, you're welcome to visit our website. If you go to the Otago website, you'll see that there's an international page and particular information on study abroad. And of course, your home university or college will also have a study abroad or global experience office that has information about the programs that are suitable for you. You are welcome to email us. Our email address is university@otago.ac.nz. And of course, you can follow us on the various social media channels to find out more. Thanks very much for joining me today for this information session. All the best with your studies, and we hope that sometime in the future we may be able to welcome you here to the University of Otago.